One brave man.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tony, I know you didn't expect me to ask a question. Let's introduce myself. I'm Sheldon. I'm actually Tony's brother-in-law. This question is a non-technical question. Can you hear me well? Alright, non-technical question, but I think very relevant. Tony spoke at the beginning about him being, true to the bone, and I could really testify to, going out in England and seeing him play many times. He is a very much tricky man. No question about that. But I think the question I really wanted to ask was, I'm gonna be blunt. You're a black man from Trinidad. Trinidad others got in the ocean, and I've seen you play Beryl Brown and these guys. I mean, you're out there. There's no question. And this is already a lesson in life. How what was the secret to your success? How you get out there. A black man from Trinidad competing with those guys in North America and in Europe and stuff like that. I mean, what you do to put yourself out there and have yourself where you are. I think it's really a lesson for a lot of people in life, not just in up-and-coming musicians, but I mean, in general in life. Yeah, so probably you could share some success in terms of that.
Okay, first we're going to start with a dream. I had this dream from from a very tender age that I wanted to play the best musicians, not just in Trinidad, but at first, yes, in Trinidad, just the best musicians in Trinidad. I started doing that. I'm coming from, anything past the Silver Bridge in Caribbean, this country. You all know that? Alright. So a country boy coming in town to play music, that was turbulence in those days, you had to prove yourself. Anyway, going past that, I came into, started off by playing with the Crow Swing, or Abel Angel Harps, which is now Tropical Angel Harps, and I'm still playing with them. And we fought in the running, if you don't know, I tell you now, we the only band from South Central who made it into the finals of the National Panorama Finals, right? So, I'm there, that's my foundation, that's why I started playing drums, that's where it all started. For me to say that it's an easy road to succeed or get to the top, it's not really. You have to be very disciplined. It's like an athlete, a runner. You got to get early in the morning, hit the new grass, hit the gym, and it's a constant thing until you reach that level where you think, well, okay, you can compete. Here, I played with the best musicians in this country. Terry Shaw, the Mains, the Roy Capes, the Carl Beaver Hendersons, groups like Germany Brass, Trinidad Troubadours, Fireflight, Exit. I hope I didn't miss out any, but that was my ground. And hanging around these musicians, for me, it was a big thing. It was hanging around musicians at that caliber. And it was a big thing for me. That's where I started to really get into drums. I mean, I've always been into it, but by then I realized, hang on, I'm not doing too bad. I really need to go and spread my wings, explore a bit, travel. At the time when I was working with these groups as well, they were traveling, more North America. You get the odd trip to Europe and stuff like that. So it was giving me a little exposure, to the outside world, other than, the Trinidad thing. I mean, here it's kind of almost seasonal, right? Where Carnival is like the big thing, and then after Carnival, musicians have to go outside and earn a living, and then Carnival comes again, and then they come back, and it keeps on going like that. I didn't want to get caught up in the whole thing. I think there was a bigger picture for me. I had more to offer. And as I say, it started off with a dream. It's something I always wanted to do. After playing with musicians here in Trinidad, I just decided, well, it's time for me to take my drumming to the next level and test myself. And I applied to Manhattan School of Music in Manhattan, New York, Manhattan. I was accepted, and when I got there, they wanted to make my drums. Now I'm just giving you an edited version of how it actually started off. From the steel band, leaving the pan, coming into electric groups, combos, brass bands. From there, it was time for me to kind of move on. My next stop was Manhattan. As I said, I got accepted, and when I got there, they wanted to make my drums like my third instrument, which I wasn't happy about because it took me so long to actually kind of understand the drum kit and get around it a bit. I was forming this relationship with the kid, and I thought that it was going to make that my third instrument. It means that I had to study piano and tune percussion, and I wasn't happy with that, so I decided to go to a school called Drums Collective, which is also in Manhattan. And it was a good move because studying with some of the best drummers in the world today, Peter Skin, who in his early days played with Weather Report, and I think he went on to Chick Corea, and he had his own group, I can't remember the name. Then there was Kenwood Dinard. I studied with him as well. I studied with a percussionist called Frank Malaby. He passed on now, but he was an amazing, I mean, everybody used to go to this guy for lessons. Steve Gard, Weckel, you know, the Chester Thompsons, all the boys in New York used to go, because what he used to do is take all the percussion licks and place out the drum kit. So it used to give that kind of open kind of feel to drummers. It gave them more kind of a range, especially if they're stuck without, in a Latin percussion situation without a percussionist. They can kind of open up and play the clave in the left side and that sort of stuff. So there was Frank Malaby, there was a guy called Tony Campbell, and I did a couple of crash courses with Steve Gard. Like he would come in a week at a time when he was free, and kind of, you know, do demos with a class of about 13. So from there, it was back here, then I went back to England. And I thought, because I didn't have a green card, I wasn't going into the long thing with immigration officers chasing me around. So I just thought, you know, I was born in England, I might as well go back there. And I think that's like the second biggest music capital in the world, really. I wouldn't have immigration officers chasing me there, that's for sure. So I just went back in that direction and kind of took it from there. My first break came with Eddie Grant. I joined his group, and from there I went on to Jeffrey Osborne. So I went back to the States, and it kind of excelled from there. But Eddie Grant had a studio called Coach House in Stamford Hill, and everybody, all the top performers, all the known performers would go to his studio and record. So Eddie kind of made me the in-house drummer for groups like Soul to Soul and Amazulu, Dina Carroll, people like that. So they would all go there and record, and I would be the in-house drummer. They'll have me drumming on the tracks, and that kind of built my clientele, and then people called me to go out and do stuff. So I mean, that's how it started off. But as I say, it starts with a dream, just a little idea. You know, you just got to kind of follow it and try not to get detoured in any way. And don't let people kind of, there's good criticism and there's bad criticism, you know, and what I used to do, the good ones I'll accept, the bad ones I'll just kind of take and use it as fuel to kind of spur me on, because you do have negative people around you, in everything, in every walk of life. And you know, if I shared my dream with one person, he would see it, and if I mentioned it to someone else, somebody would say, "Boy, you mad? You're going to be what, a small fish in a, you know, small fish in a big sea." I'd rather be a small fish in a big sea. At least I made an attempt to try and better myself, you know. So yeah, I mean that's what it is really. I just kept on, and nothing kind of, as I say, deterred me in any way. You know, I mean, you know, in the music business we got everything. You know, it's the greatest, the three S's, isn't it? So I just kind of like focused and practice a lot. And the more practice, the more confident I became. And here I am, you know, representing Trinidad and Tobago, Premiership of Music, right? You got kind of football, right? That's how I see it, eh? I look at it as leagues. You have the Premiership, then you have the Championship, then you have League 1, League 2, and you're going down the road. The bottom is the Vauxhall division. When you're down there, well, nothing happening at all. It's a struggle. So I'm really, really happy to come home and kind of be in front of my people. People I love, people I feel comfortable with. All day is a rush, you know, it's a hassle. it ain't as friendly as, but you just gotta get on and do it, you know, you fall over, you just dust your pants and go again. You know, and if you have a really good attitude, you know, sense of humor would help. Here, what people would hire you, you could be not the best technical drummer, but a really nice person, and you could take care of business. Play for the peace given, you got the gig before the man who got all the chops and twirling sticks and all that business. It doesn't really count. Alright, so Sheldon, that's a short version of that. So everybody here, you know, that's how where it all started, from Tropical Angel House, way back in the 70s to now. And don't ask me.